the US government is releasing $6 billion to the Iranian regime. We did talk about this last week, but there's been a little bit of a development from that. But one thing I just want to point out, we were speaking about how the total trade between the UK and Israel is £7.3 billion.
Yes.
Well, $6 billion, well, that's a lot of money to any economy.
Absolutely.
And especially one like Iran, which is smaller than Israel's economy.
So just to clarify then, and we covered this, as you say, in our last podcast, it is a prison swap between Iran and the United States, which is 5 prisoners released from Iran who are wrongfully imprisoned by Iran, being returned to the US. Sorry, 4 of them are US citizens, 1 of them a British citizen. They are being released. And in return, 5 prisoners who are held in the United States, for reasons we do not know, are being released to Iran. A straight prisoner swap, except the Biden administration had also promised Iran to unlock or unfreeze, assets that were being held in South Korea, releasing those to the amount of $6 billion. Since our last podcast, that has now happened. The funds have been transferred from South Korea to Qatar because of the lifting of a particular sanction, because we're supposed to be sanctioning Iran because we want to show how angry we are about their nuclear program and their aggression, etc. But that has been lifted. $6 billion now is in the hands of the Iranian regime. The prisoner swap has also taken place. We might have seen that on the news in the past couple of days. But last week, we speculated that the Iranian regime might not just keep its word that it is only going to be for humanitarian purposes.
Yeah.
And we said, well, we doubt that very much. But oh no, the Biden administration were taking the Iranian regime at the word that it would only be used for humanitarian purposes. Well, guess what? We have a further development now, where this is the report says Iran's president has said his government will decide how it will spend $6 billion released by the United States under prisoner swap. He's basically said, so this is the Iranian president, Raisi said, this money belongs to the Islamic Republic of Iran. And naturally, we will decide, the Islamic Republic of Iran, will decide to spend wherever we need it.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah, exactly. And we were saying that was what they were going to do, and they have now confirmed that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
The problem is, though, the US administration, the Biden administration, is in denial about this.
Yes.
And even now they're saying, no, that's not going to happen. They're only allowed to spend it on humanitarian goods. They're only allowed to spend it on agriculture and things like that.
Yeah.
And they said they will shut it down if anything is spent wrongly.
Yeah.
Well, at the same time as this, I mean, Iran's just got this $6 billion payout.
Yeah.
They've now stopped UN inspectors from inspecting their nuclear sites.
Exactly.
So clearly, they're breaking rules here, there, and everywhere. They've been doing this for many years. It is absolutely foolish for anyone to think that they're going to follow the rules now.
It is.
You know.
In fact, Raisi continued, humanitarian means whatever the Iranian people need.
Exactly.
Do you think he's going to ask the Iranian people? No, it's going to be what he thinks the Iranian people need. And they are in denial to expect that. So I think it's really, really poor. We went into detail. We don't need to do that again today about what the alternatives could have been and why it was wrong. But we certainly need to be aware of the fact that despite what we might have seen in some news articles, which may have only published the earlier statements that Iran was guaranteeing it would be only used for humanitarian needs, Iran has since said that they will spend it wherever they need it, and that is the equivalent of the trade between the UK and Israel.
Yeah. Well, similar amount.
Similar
money.
amount, yes. Yeah.
And so, yeah, it is a massive amount of money.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I read was that now there are concerns within the State Department of the US that, I mean, they may be issuing directives to Americans abroad to be careful, because actually other regimes and other rogue entities, maybe the Taliban or something, may see this as an opportunity to kidnap Americans and hold them to ransom because the US has now released this money.
It's funny you should say that, because well, not funny, it's appropriate you should say that. I saw a report, I can't remember what country the national was. It didn't strike me as being sort of the United States or Britain, but there was a kidnapping take place by the Iranian regime this week.
Wow.
And being held on, I wish I had it for this podcast, but yes, there was something that happened this week.
Yeah.
Of someone who's being wrongly, I mean, I say someone's being wrongly held. There are many people that are being wrongly held in Iran.
Yes.
And this is likely to continue. And I agree with you entirely. I think it is very unwise. And one of the things that I always say is, and, you know, we're going to call the Iranian regime a terrorist regime. Take terrorists at their word.
Yeah,
like when they say, well, we'll spend it however we want, believe them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. When they threaten the United States and Israel, and by the way, the United Kingdom,
yes,
that they refer to as, is it the is it the little Satan?
No, they actually refer to the US as the Great Satan and Israel as the Little Satan. But the thing is, their characterization of that is actually the Western world, not just America.
Yes.
So it's it includes the UK.
I think seeing pro-regime protesters burning the UK flag, trampling it on one of their pro-government marches, choreographed marches, is, I think, indicator that they don't like us too much.
No, and even the regime, the Iranian regime, released a video where there was the American flag, the British flag, and the Israel flag burning.
So my point being is we have to take them at their word.
Yeah.
And this is why those decision makers, whether it be in Washington or wherever, need to wake up to understand that the Iranian regime mean what they say.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.